Hi, my name's Maria and welcome to my channel MH Books. And it turns out I wasn't filming. And I really had gotten into it. And I'd had 4 or 5 false starts. And I just got into it. And then I kind of went, no, if the screen goes dark and you kind of go, oh, screen already goes dark if the phone is not doing anything. I wasn't filming. So, yay, me having a great day filming this. So, welcome to my Friday Reads. Welcome to MH Books, my channel. And I'm waving a hairbrush at you. Welcome to a dark Friday in Dublin, the day before our Gay Pride. I'm hoping this is the rain coming in that was due for Gay Pride, that the rain's going to happen now and that we're not going to have the rain in the morning or in the afternoon. It's actually at lunchtime it's on, but there's a lot of breakfasts and things and brunches and things to go to. So, but if it does rain, it's grand. We have beautiful rainbow umbrellas being sold in town, so I'm sure I'll be able to buy one at an exorbitant price if I really needed to. Also very lucky with the weather. It might be dark and it might be threatening rain, but we are not getting 44 degrees centigrade temperatures. 44 degrees in Paris, I believe, at the moment. It is the hottest temperature in history. Similar temperatures being recorded in Berlin. Fires in Spain, in Catalonia in Spain, if I remember that right. Absolutely horrendous global warming weather happening in Europe at the moment. Ireland is at the tail end of some type of sandwich of low and high pressures. They haven't bothered to read this properly. But we're getting more rain than normal and slightly cooler than normal. So to actually get what we had today, which was early 21 degrees at the highest temperature, was beautiful for change, because we've been getting really quite cold temperatures. But we are not complaining. We're having amazing weather compared to mainland Europe, who has it far too hot. If we could put an order in though for the weather, Mother Nature, I would like about the 21 degrees is just perfect. Anything else is too hot. You can see even at 21 degrees I'm starting to look too hot. So it's perfect. Don't mind rain now and again, but just not too much, not too little, because if there's too much rain, it's unpleasant walking around the place. But if there's too little, I had to go out and water my plants, and then there's all this water conservation problem. So yeah, just enough rain. So yeah, thank you for giving us more or less moderate temperatures. Okay, to get back on to actual books, you have to deal with my lighting situation. Sorry, I do, because it's annoying me. The lighting at the moment, it keeps changing. This was me read the Middle East-a-thon, or the Middle East Read-a-Thon. I will have the proper name in the title, in the show notes. Ends on the 1st of July. The aim was to read 3 books. I knew I probably wouldn't. I have finished one. I'm about finished one, based in Iran, non-fiction. I am about 40% of the way through a fictional one. I have here, from when I wasn't filming, the folio book, and I am reading something that's nothing to do with the Middle East at the moment. So the book I did finish is Persepolis by Marja Satrapi. I hope that's more or less pronunciation or name. This is a memoir of her life, her childhood in Iran. It says the story of a childhood. It's a story of her childhood in Iran. It's a memoir told in graphic form. Most people in BookTube are already familiar with this. Wasn't originally convinced with the actual pictures in the graphic novels. Now, I don't read that many graphic novels, but I wasn't that convinced that I would like this. But actually, I loved it. It was perfect, absolutely perfect. Look at the lovely Persians. Can you see them? The way they're depicted. They're lovely. It's the most ridiculous celebrations. This explains Iranian history very well. when you live in a country that has a complex history that most people aren't familiar with, you can't explain what was happening then without going back 100 years. I don't have as much a problem, but I know somebody in Belfast would have a massive problem trying to explain why things were like this in the 1970s and 1980s without going back hundreds of years. And people say, but why? What? Yes, 100 years do matter. So we have to, she does go back to about 100 years to give you the overview, and it's done by her dad explained it to her as a kid, so it's told in nice simple language in beautiful pictures. It's easy to understand, which was vitally important to me. Okay, love this method. This is a 5-star thing. Love this method. Absolutely recommend reading this before reading this, because this book is extraordinarily well written. It's now, again, I am going to attempt this name, Nejar Devardi. I have no idea. I presume it's Persian, not French. I don't even speak French, and I'm trying to make it sound like a French word. This is because the author speaks French, and because she now lives in France, and I've only ever seen her interviewed in French. I have no French whatsoever, so I have no idea of how to pronounce this name. The book is Disoriental, and again, set in almost both authors, born in 1969. This is a memoir. This is semi-autobiographical. I learned how to say it from the previous video. Semi-autobiographical. So, sorry. I couldn't say a simple word. It was very frustrating. It is based, it's set in sort of 2 time periods. She's in a fertility clinic in France, and at the same time she's reflecting on her childhood in Iran at exactly the same period as this. And again, the history of Iran is extraordinarily important as to what happens. Now, at the moment, I'm 40% of the way through. There's something called the event, which is going to be a major crisis for her family. But meanwhile, she's talking about her family, and she's talking about 100 years of history of her family. She's gone back and forth to her grandmother, who was born in her harem to a 15-year-old girl who died, to herself again in this fertility clinic it's in France. I don't know, it's in Paris. But while she tells her family history, she doesn't go linearly. She says, now we'll go forward a little bit and we'll see what happened to my granny. Now we'll go back and we'll see why. Now we're going to go, so we're going to have a look. Oh, look, we'll zip through time and we'll see how these two became friends over the course of 10 years. Now we're going back to where we were 10 years ago. I'm going to tell you in detail how they moved into this apartment. And she keeps telling you she's going back and forth, so it's not linear. So you're trying to follow with this. You're trying to follow her family, which is quite complex. And at the same time, is in a complex time in history. So it does help to read the history first. Sometimes this is hard work because I'm extremely busy. And I have to, so I don't know how I'm feeling about this at the moment. Sometimes I'm loving it. Other times I'm kind of going, it is so hard work. And yet I can't put it down because I'll lose the train of where I am. So I will push through and finish this and tell you what I think about it by the end of the weekend. But meanwhile, you can see I haven't done my running arms. Oh, dear. Anyway, I have been reading Iraqi history, mostly Iraqi. It's Mesopotamia, which is mostly Iraq. I mean, we're talking about very ancient borders here. And the rise of cities. It's called The Babylonians, this book. It's a Folio Society book. I just removed its folio. It is, as all histories are complex, this book is written very academically. It's not for those who don't like it's sourced. He bases it on ancient writings. I believe most books in Mesopotamia and Babylon base their records, their belief system, but because history is interpreted. This, we're talking about 5,000 to 2,000 years ago. The range of this history, you know, this is a long time ago, so they're interpreting this through ancient writings, very on stone tablets, on clay tablets, most clay tablets, not stone, and or archaeological information. So more modern books would use archaeological information, and things like this would use more, and this would be more modern. This was actually originally written in the 60s and updated in the 1980s, so it might be slightly out of date academically. So it's very complex, lots of history, but fascinating. To an urbanite like me who loves cities, this is a rise of cities. This is why cities arose. So due to the circumstances of the rivers in the region, the silt moved and things, and there wasn't enough water. So we're talking about what is from rainfall to grow crops. So they needed to irrigate the land, and to irrigate the land you need cooperation of people and people working together, and you start to involve specialists, the people who made the tools, the people that dug the water, the people whatever, people that planted the seeds, the people, whatever. And as that with that involves large populations. Large population involves religion. With religion and large population involves writings. The first writings were pieces of clay they're squished down and basically recorded how many sheep and things somebody had, especially the temples. The temples were very good. People in temples, you would see it in this is way before Christianity. Obviously, it is the era before. It's 5,000 to 2,000 years ago. Christianity starts 2,000 years ago. But even with early Christianity, you see that a lot of the writing then, in proper paper books, is done by monks because they're the ones who have the time. The first writings happen on snow tablets, record how many cows and sheep and people there were, and that kind of thing. It then evolves on the tablets to tell, to become creative writing. The creative writing is more about the sagas and the stories about why this king is more kind of like a god because he did this and did that. Again, in Ireland, those kind of sagas would have been oral tradition, but we'd have them too, where, they were 12 feet tall, they could jump over trees kind of thing. So they exaggerate things, but they get written down because we have specialists, we have large cities. We have large cities evolving. The more current book I have here tells it in, this is Gwendolyn Lakes, and it tells it, and they actually intend, the history of Mesopotamia, 10 cities. So it is complex. It's hurting my brain a little bit, having so much information from this history, which is nice and factual and interesting, but a lot. Okay, there's a lot of different people invading all over the land. A complex book as well. So I do need something slightly easier, and a little bit dark because, there wasn't any, actual history. Not an easy history. The Iran books occur during the Iran-Iraq War, so extremely dark history in places. But, I do like my really dark novels. So I have been listening to... You turn that off. There we go. Night Film by Marisha Pessel. Night Film is it's crime noir. I actually, that's where I'm going to classify. I think most people classify this as horror. The man makes, it's based on a girl that goes missing, and a journalist and two other individuals who go looking. She doesn't go missing, she dies, she kills herself. The journalist and the two other individuals try to investigate why she killed herself. She is the daughter of a director who filmed horror movies. But it's told in a real, I keep expecting it to be set in the 1930s and for people to be smoking and they would be called dame and broad. And instead, they're talking about Googling things. He going, oh yeah, it's current. These are what the people are watching these movies. The film director who makes the movies, they're so scary that they go underground. They're no longer in current release. I mean, you can only watch them underground. So people are paying a fortune to get DVDs of these movies, and they're, you know, and the DVD sets that they can't be copied and all the rest of it. And everybody's obsessed with this. The director, the journalist who's investigating the death of his daughter, is also obsessed with these movies. Everybody's obsessed with them, and there is indications that there's a supernatural reason for her death, or maybe not. So we're 63% of the way through. I am just loving, I do want to read more noir fiction. I think I might actually go to some of the classics later on in the summer. But really enjoying this so far. We'll tell you when I get to the end. So that's the end of my Friday reads, because I'm supposed to be bringing this under 15 minutes, and it is now close on 16. I will be watching everybody else's Friday reads. I hope whatever you're reading, that you're enjoying it. And until next time, happy reading, folks.